Hello, awesome viewers. Now, I expect to be rather busy this week, so unfortunately, I won't have too much quality content for you. Apologies in advance. Hopefully, I can get a good video out by the time the weekend comes around. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this something for you to think about and share with all other fellow viewers, and maybe we can have a discussion on this. The question is, Polana Agroplex, yay or nay? Is it a good card or is it not worth including in your deck? I've seen arguments by both sides and I'm definitely leaning towards the nay side. I'll explain my stance here. So, firstly, what a lot of people say and claim is that it's just a better straight up upgrade of pet campaign. Of course, this is all speaking in the context of playing this in Polana Foods, the ID. It's not really 1 credit per turn, even though it activates your ability on your turn, which you usually can't. The problem with that is when you help the runner draw a card, you give them a less likelihood of drawing on their turn, because with more cards drawn, the runner has less of a need to draw on their turn. If they don't draw on their turn, they are not giving you credits. Of course, this doesn't apply if your opponent's running Wildside or something similar. If they don't run Wildside, then this probably gives you less than 1 credit per turn, because there are some turns where the runner doesn't draw, where they otherwise would have if they didn't have the Agroplex draw. So at that point, you must ask yourself, because a card for a card is fair. In fact, it's slightly worse for the court to draw cards because you can get agenda flooded, which leads me to point 2. Agroplex floods your hand. This is a big problem because Agroplex is not a you may. It's not a conditional trigger. It always happens as long as it is installed and rests. So there are times, situations where you do not want the extra card drop, but you'll be forced into it anyway. This is especially prominent when you try to score agendas. If you're going for big agendas like Future Perfect, Global Food, or Nisei Mark 2, anything that isn't fast advanced really, you're going to find that you're going to be flooded with cards so quickly it's ridiculous. I can cite one example. If you're trying to chain 2 agendas, say a Nisei Mark 2 into a corporate sales team, that's 4 whole turns you need to spend. Install advancing, then triple advancing the next turn. In those 4 turns, you would be drawing 8 cards into your hand, most of which you would have to chuck because to meet your maximum hand size. By plowing through your R&D that much quicker, you leave yourself more flooded in HQ. You are increasing the number of cards you see, which means you increase the number of cards the runner has potential access to, and by extension, that's potential agendas that the runner could be sniping. That's not very good. Point number 3 refers to the fact that card draw is usually not the limiting factor when it comes to a corp deck not being able to win quickly enough. Usually the problem is you don't find your Caprice soon enough, or you don't find sufficient ice, or you simply don't have enough money to score out your agendas. Card draw is usually the least of these problems. Now, I know card draw solves all the problems I mentioned, but you really only need Agroplex when card draw is the main limiting factor. So imagine a combo deck of sorts that can theoretically win within 3 turns. Maybe it's a Sea Scorch deck or something. The only limiting factor there would be drawing enough cards quickly enough. That would be the kind of deck that wants a huge card draw, and Agroplex can offer that. I don't think the same can be said for most Jinteki decks. In fact, even if you're trying to play a rush style Jinteki, you would much rather play Fast Track over Agroplex, or maybe some other card, maybe even Heritage Committee, because at the end of the day, even though you're accelerating your game, you're also accelerating the runner's game. Unless the runner is super reliant on getting as many turns as possible, maybe because they are noise with Wildside and trying to mill you out, or maybe they're Sunny that relies heavily on drip economy that wants to get as many start of turn triggers as possible. In general, Agroplex does benefit the runner as much as you do, and at that point you ask yourself, why am I including this card in my deck when it's so marginal? I don't think Agroplex is good enough to warrant a space in decks nowadays, especially since the card pool is so big and decks are still so small. But perhaps you might have some positive experiences with Agroplex. I'm sure many of you have been playtesting this along with Polana, and I'd really like to hear your views on this matter. I might just be convinced to play Agroplex in my Polana deck. If you all can put forth some great arguments or some anecdotes as to how Agroplex is good or bad. Let me know your thoughts. I'm really open to them. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you perhaps at the end of the week, hopefully.